Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about dogs because they're always in the news. So before I get into the real meat of the issue, I just want to talk about a few different breeds of dogs. Labrador Retriever, Shih Tzu, and let's say a Corgi, for example. Three very different breeds. And when I say a Labrador Retriever or a Shih Tzu or a Corgi, some things may pop into your brain about those dogs. Like Labrador Retriever, you're going to think of those dogs probably playful. They love to play fetch, very energetic dogs, and loyal companion dogs. Shih Tzus are lazy. They're not the smartest dogs in the world, and they're adorable. Corgis, dogs, they bark a lot, very energetic, and my aunt used to have a Corgi, and she knew that I trained my dogs, and all my dogs that she's ever seen have always been real well trained. And she got a Corgi, and then the Corgi's name was Cammy. So she calls me up one day and she says, "Brian, Cammy, she's always, what is she always bringing all the pillows into the living room for? She's always, what's going on? I come home from work and every pillow in the whole house is in the living room." I said, "Sharon, she's a Corgi. That's what they do. She's herding." And she'd had Cammy since she was a puppy. So she's like, I don't get it. I never trained her to do this. It's frustrating. How do I get her to stop doing this?" She's a Corgi. Corgis were bred for centuries to herd. That's what they do. You're not going to untrain that out of the dog. Just like you're not going to get a Labrador to suddenly hate fetching. And you're not going to make a Shih Tzu brilliant or hyper energetic. That's not what they are. I mean, Shih Tzus were bred for how they looked. They were lap dogs of emperors. You're not going to make a Shih Tzu into a guard dog. Maybe an alarm dog. The point is that we humans have selectively bred dogs for centuries to do certain things. They're work dogs, they're companion dogs, or they're whatever we bred them for, and that's what they do. Which brings us to the crux of the issue when it comes to dog attacks and breeds like pit bulls. Pit bulls, or American Staffordshire Terriers, or whatever you want to call them, that breed, if you don't recognize that they're different than other breeds, then you're fooling yourselves and you're being naive and you're not thinking things through. So I've probably already offended you, and you probably know where this is going, but hear me out. Hear me out. You see, bull baiting, you need to look into what bull baiting was. And because that's where the breed came from. In England and in Europe, this was a sport, a blood sport, where they would take a bull, tether it so it couldn't escape, and then they would have a dog attack the bull. And the goal was for the dog to attack the bull and basically get it by the neck or the snout usually, and subdue the bull and eventually kill the bull. And so you're talking about a dog killing a bull. So it's got to be a powerful dog. It's got to be a dog with a really good grip. And there have been historians that have actually looked at like how we humans changed the breed to make it better at this feat. And along with bull baiting, they also had bull fighting. And a lot of times the dog fighting, they would have a pit where the bull would be, and it'd be tethered in there. And the goal would be for the dog to sneak up on the bull and attack the bull. And if the dog didn't attack, well, the bull would fling the dog off. So these dogs weren't bred to be pets or companions or hunting dogs or whatever. These dogs were bred to kill bulls. And you can go online and there's even accounts of the pit bull, the bulldog, sleeping in the same stalls with the bulls they were attacking. Because when they weren't in that, whatever it was that triggered them, whenever they got that command or whatever it was, whatever flipped in their brains, and okay, now I'm supposed to be attacking, they were kind, loving animals or whatever, but when they got triggered, they were vicious and would try to kill that animal. And it's this behavior that we see when pit bulls attack that make them so much more dangerous than just about any other breed. Like, poodles bite more people, but poodles don't kill people. See, poodles were hunting dogs, not bred to kill. But pit bulls were bred to kill. That's why when a pit bull attacks, it just keeps attacking. It doesn't stop. It's not a guard dog. That wasn't what they were bred for. They were bred to kill bulls. So when it triggers, And your modern pet that's been cuddly with your children for years or whatever, when it triggers, it doesn't just bite once. It bites, and it keeps biting, and it keeps biting, and it keeps biting with the intent of killing whatever it is biting. And it could be your daughter, it could be your son, it could be you. And you're not going to untrain that out of the dog. There's not going to be some way that you teach an American Staffordshire Terrier, whatever, to not have that instinct. You're not going to train that. Was it nature or nurture? Was it the owner? Oh, the owner must have trained it to be mean. No! My aunt didn't train her corgi to herd. Most people don't have to train a Labrador to fetch. They might have to train the Labrador to let go of the ball after he's fetched it. And you don't have to train a Shih Tzu to sit in your lap and do nothing all day. You don't have to train a pit bull. You can have the nicest, most loving pit bull, and they still have that capacity to not just bite, but to bite to kill. And that's why when you hear every single pit bull story I hear, well, not everyone, but almost everyone, how did the dog was like so sweet before, the dog never showed signs of aggression before. There was one from Christmas last year where it's a husband and a wife and their kids, and it was Christmas morning. They had, I think, 2 pit bulls, sweet dogs, loving members of the family. And the mom and the daughters left to go visit family for Christmas, came home, and the husband's half-eaten in the living room floor dead. How'd that happen? I don't know. I don't know what triggers in a dog. The thing is, when you pick out a dog to be your pet, you are bringing in an animal. I don't care if it's a Shih Tzu, I don't care if it's a Chihuahua, I don't care if it's a Great Dane. You're bringing an animal into your home. I don't care if you're bringing in a gopher to be your pet. You're bringing in an animal. And you, if you're a responsible adult, you need to figure out what kind of animal, what are the traits of that animal. And if it's a dog, you have a really good advantage when it comes to picking a dog for a pet, because with a dog you can fairly well guess what the behavior is going to be, because most dog breeds, except for the mutts, of course, dog breeds were bred for a reason. So you want to see what a Great Dane's like, you think about getting a Great Dane, you can go online and look and see what Great Dane's bred for. What were they bred for? Shih Tzu? Go look online, see what they were bred for. Lhasa Apso? What was that for? American Pitbull? What were those for? And you're going to choose the one that was bred to kill. You see, you owe a little bit of responsibility to yourself, to your family, and to your neighbors. If you're going to bring in an animal that has the capacity, the ability to kill, and that would include a sweet, lovable, goofy Great Dane, a German Shepherd, a Doberman Pinscher, a Saint Bernard, any dog over about 50 pounds probably has the ability to kill you if it wanted to. Measure that with the history of the breed, with the temperament, with the news reports. How many of these dogs are killing people? I've had big dogs. I've had a Great Dane. I've had a Saint Bernard. I've had mutts. I've had a Rat Terrier. Now I have a Chihuahua. And here's the thing that I can say about my Chihuahua that no pit bull owner can ever say. If something happens in the brain of my Chihuahua, let's say he has a stroke, and he decides, after his stroke, he loses his mind, and he decides he's going to kill every single person in my family. He can't do it. He can't do it. If that dog attacks me, I will step on him and kill him in my home. Now, if something triggers in your pit bull, and he decides to kill you, which apparently isn't all that uncommon with pit bulls. Say he has a stroke. Let's just say the centuries of breeding them to be killers finally comes out, and that pit bull decides to kill you. There's a real good chance he's going to succeed. And then when you're dead, or your daughter's dead, or your son is dead, and the news reporters come around, if you're the survivor can say to the news reporter, I never showed signs of aggression before. He was a sweet dog. We don't understand what happened. And you'll be full of crap.